I may not have much, and my horse, he'll probably die before me. But what I do have is a gun. In part 2, we got the key to guns. So say goodbye to bow and arrows. It's time to get my hands dirty. Don't forget to subscribe. Once you're a dreamer for life. Alright, let's continue the story. I just got some wood to fill my furnaces. I geared up and I headed out and made my way to the tunnels at Harbor. Now that I had a gun, I felt confident making it all the way to Outpost without any issues. As I slowly made my way down, my brain was telling me that there's no guarantee that I'll make it. But my heart, my solo heart, told me to push on. With a SAR on my side, I made it to Outpost with no issues. Here, I began to recycle everything that I had. Now that I had a lot of scrap at Outpost, I spawned back at base and began building my shop. This shop would be the main way I'd bring loot from Outpost back home. I spawned back at base to retrieve my loot, and while I was here, I went ahead and built out the second floor, just in case anyone was thinking about raiding anytime soon. Now that all my valuable items are safe at base, I would take that SAR and test my luck on my way back home. I began setting up the second floor. I created a little nook for my 3 furnaces. And I set up my second loot room. Doing this all in the middle of the night. While the rest world sleeps, I wipe the sweat from my brow and I keep grinding. That second tunnel run back home left me with a ton of loot. So I grabbed my horse and I made my way to the recycler at Harbor. From this vantage point, I could see everything. My finger weighed heavy on the trigger, ready to fire at any moment. With a decent amount of metal fragments, I began crafting garage doors. I started with the core, replacing each sheet metal door, and made my way outward. While out looting, I came across this special little tool. This jackhammer would help me grow this base into the solo paradise that it will soon become. But first things first, I need to upgrade the bunker into sheet metal. My base design has a suicide bunker, and with a suicide bunker, it's important to take time to pass over things that are valuable and to make sure that the TC is never hungry. Now, it was time to go do sewer branch, so I grabbed a green card and a fuse box, and I made the trip across the desert in hopes of a blue card. On my way back home from Sewer Branch, I came across this guy. Instead of continuing on my way, I stopped to gauge whether it was worth it or not. He was farming. It was worth it. Since I was trying to build up my base, his loot was a win for me. So I rushed home as quickly as possible. But on my way there, this car arrived. Maybe they were his allies. Maybe it was random. Either way, this happened. I died to this guy at Sewer Branch. And while shooting at this guy, I decide to take my horse and see if I can get a closer shot. But once I came down from the mountain, he was nowhere to be found. And while the sun was setting and the darkness was creeping in, I grabbed a hatchet and I collected some wood. I needed a new green card, so I spawned at gas station, and to my surprise, gas station was unlooted. Now that I had a new green card, it was time to head back over to Sewer Branch and secure that blue card. Things were a little different now that I had a blue card. I knew it was time to do some bigger monuments, but as most of you know, I'm not a fan of clutter. So first, I have to clean up a little bit, recycle everything that I don't need, and research everything that I can. Now that my mixing table was up and running, I decided to spawn in the grass area and pick berries. If I can get these back to base, I could farm a lot faster, tease and rest, are extremely underrated. If you don't use them yet, and you're a solo, it'll completely change the way you play. With some freshly brewed tea, I grabbed my gun and my jackhammer, hopped in my boat, and made my way back to the snow. With the caffeine kicking from the tea, the farming felt endless. Eventually, the sun began to set, so I headed back to my boat. But as I approached the area where I left it, I realized that it was gone. I had no idea what happened to it. I needed to make it back home. So I headed back home on foot, crossing the entire map, with enough farm to make anyone that kills me happy. But somehow, I made it. And when the sun came up, I took my new chainsaw and I finally was able to collect wood the best way possible. I had a lot of wood and a lot of stone. It was time to expand the base with one of my favorite additions, a large furnace base. Not just any large furnace base, one that's attached so you can access from inside of your base. Initially, I was going to make this series a 3-parter, but after analyzing my content, I realized I had far too much story to tell with only 3 episodes. So, stay tuned for part 4. As strange as it may sound, the best is yet to come. This part of the series mainly focused on progression and growth, but I think it's time to sit back and relax the real Orange Dream way. So I'll see you in part 4 when we make that a reality. Much love and keep dreaming. You've been watching an Orange Dream production.